All right. Hello, everyone. Incredible morning. All right, I'm going to sit here for a little minute. Hopefully, it catches me in a not so crazy position. So I'm going to sit here and smile so that the thumbnail, since I didn't create a thumbnail, doesn't catch me looking all crazy. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible morning. All right, let's see. Now it just popped up, which means probably just grab my screenshot because it just came up on my phone. And I'm looking down, so I probably look crazy. All right, still waiting for the Facebook one to pop up. The YouTube one did, but not Facebook. So crazy how long it takes to send out the notification for me to get my notification. All righty. Whoa, that scared the mess out of me. All right. Okay, something's going on with my microphone. Give me 1 second. I was wondering why it was so wobbly. All the little threads off of it. All right, cool beans. There we go. And let's see. Do we have notification yet? Boom. There we go. We have notification. All right, let's go ahead and get this bad boy shared out. I have a one-on-one session, so I have to get through this one fairly quickly because I do have a one-on-one session this morning. And then one this afternoon. All right, let's see. Post. Oh, see, it did good. All right. All right, let's go ahead and share this. All right, I'll share it out. All right, make sure that you guys hit that share button as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the parent company of Stillaholics Anonymous, which is the online platform that I have been using for the past, or teaching you guys from for the past almost 8 years. 8 years since I've been doing this, to where I have been sharing my love and my knowledge, Silhouette studio software with you guys and how to use it as a graphic designing software to help your creative business. We are also the home of the Honestly Speaking product line, where we carry sublimation ink, sublimation paper, pigment ink, and other accessories and things to help you with your creative needs. And then we have 365 Creative Academy, which is my academy to help you unlock your creativity 365 days out the year. It's the same old love, babe. Ooh, ooh. Y'all know I got to throw a song in there somewhere, even though I can't sing. All right, y'all. I do these live videos. I like to start Mondays off with a live video, Q&A style. This is a lot of times for more so the newbies. So that's why I like to share it out, share it out, share it out, share it out every possible place that I can, and get you guys to share it out as well on Monday, because a lot of times my Monday one is for newcomers, or especially like newbies, just to creative things, to crafting, to sublimation, to silhouette. And then maybe you are not new to my platform. Maybe you aren't new, but Now I was like, man, I just had, let me get this answered in real time. So I always do this as a Q&A. Feel free to drop your questions. We'll answer as many questions as we can in the allotted time and go from there. So it can be a summation question, a business question, a silhouette question. Because I am broadcasting on both of those platforms, on Silhouaholics Anonymous and Honestly Speaking, it's opened up to where it's not just a silhouette Q&A. So if you're having issues with your printers, your color profiles, wanting to understand printers, go ahead, ask. I a lot of times feel like, answer the same questions, but it's always from different people. And I like to help you guys when you ask that question. So feel free to go ahead and post your questions. To start us off, I am going to talk a little bit about the cutouts that I made. I got a lot of questions as far as I use and things like that, whether or not I have a class. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, okay? And I need to change this. Give me 1 second. Man, hold on. I have to adjust my microphone. Okay, wait a minute. There we go. Sorry, I muted. There we go. I didn't say anything. I was actually just adjusting my microphone. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and say good morning. Hello, good morning, incredible morning. Hey, hey, hey. Incredible morning to each and every one of you guys. It's okay to start posting your questions if you have any questions. If there are no questions, this will end a very, very short session. So just to start us off, I will talk a little bit. People have asked about the cutouts. First things first, I did not print these with a regular printer. No, they are not sublimation. No, you cannot print to adhesive vinyl from a regular printer. So like your laser printers, your inkjet, whether it has dye ink, pigment ink, summation ink, eco solvent ink, you cannot print directly to adhesive vinyl. It must be a true eco solvent. You cannot use a water-based or like a converted printer like the Epsons or the Canons and things like that to print to adhesive vinyl. It must be an actual eco solvent, or latex printer. So I go and for these, once now that we have it, oh man, shoot, I don't know what happened with that. So I print. This is all one piece, okay? So I have done these before where I printed on regular cardstock and I end up breaking it up into sections, gluing those sections down to a piece of foam board and then cutting it out. And then I just do it in pieces and it was more so just paper. And I can do that from my wide format printer. So like my Epson 7720, or if you have like a 7820, 7840, you can do it that way, but it's paper. It's not vinyl. There is no printable like vinyl that's like this. That's like a low profile, really thin. I have seen some, but it's like really, really, really thick. To me, it does well, but that's just personal preference. Like, just personal experience for me. It just didn't stick well. So I print them out on this. So from my Roland BN20, I then put it on a piece of foam board. So it's regular. I only use Elmer's. I do not use Dollar Tree foam board. I only use Elmer's. It's a much dense foam board. It takes a lot more to cut through it. Someone said it looks like it's laser cut, like it's such precision. It's not perfect at all in any way, shape, or form. I mean, there are still some imperfections. So let me see. Can you see? Like right there? It's not completely smooth, but it is just on foam board. Okay. I will create stands for it. It can stand up. If it's indoor, it's one thing. And then if it's outdoor, I ask them if it's outdoor, I have to make it to where they can put something on the back to hold it in place. So like sand or put, water bottles. It's going to be outside so that it doesn't. I also let them know because this is just foam board. If it's somewhere and it's super windy and the wind happens to catch it and it breaks, I mean, this is foam. It will still bend. But yeah, so I just put it on here. The other question I got to ask was, what do I cut it with? Nope, I do not use a hot knife. Bam and bam. That's it. So it's just a regular X-Acto knife. Takes a whole lot of blades because foam will, it's not necessarily like it dulls it, like, and it won't really cut through it. And if you break off your tip, it just is horrible. So I use a lot. I go through a lot of blades. And then I used to use like the Dollar Tree ones, which is like this one, but the angle on that is really not, it's like, this is great for like straight cuts. Even came across these on Amazon to where it's still the ones that you can snap off and get a fresh blade, but it's at a really like steep angle. So I use this one now as well. So it's a combination of both. I have a certain way that I do mine. I cut it in sections in my class for foam board. So I need to do an updated one. So I think last year I did the one for the large oversized numbers and like to be able to put lights or balloons and stuff, walls and stuff. So the big 3D letters, I did a class for that. That's available still on the website. The year before that, I did the one where I just kind of went like it's foam board 101, where I really go through like a bunch of different tools that I use. Cause I mean, I love foam board. So I have a lot to make my life so much easier when it comes to foam board, having the right tools for the right job. There is no one thing. I have all of the foam stuff. I have large rulers so that I can make. So there's a lot to being able to cut with precision. It takes time. It does not, I don't cut through like in one go. A lot of times people get like where it's all messed up and it looks all cuckoo crazy because they're trying to go through in one pass. No, each one of these, each section is anywhere from 3 to 5 passes to get through because of how I cut it so that I can have a more precise cut to it without having a bunch of, I'm trying to get it. Okay, wait, there we go. I mean, see, yes, it's messed up a little bit right there, but for the most part, it is pretty smooth. I can go in and somewhat smooth that out, but yeah. So there's this one. I have to do a total of, I'm doing all 6 characters that were available. Goofy is the largest. Mickey is the largest because he's wide as well. It's 2 pieces of foam board, which actually this isn't a really bad spot, but because his hand was there, I needed it to be a little bit, although I could have gone up to where his hand is, but this is 2 pieces. So still not going to see his whole thing. So he's huge. Hey, I was watching television while I was doing him. And like the show really caught my attention. So he's not cut as great as he should be because I was in the middle of watching the show and I just kept getting distracted. Like these, I mean, I was watching the show, but when I was doing him, I was majorly distracted. And then there is Donald. And then there is Minnie. I showed you Daisy in the beginning. And then I have to do the Mickey. So that's all of those. It's for I have to have it well before the 24th. I wanted to have them done. So this time around, I made sure that I started them early. All right. Let's see. So let's do how long do you think, let's see, I'll go in order. So Goofy, I forget, he's like 31 inches or something like that. How long do you guys think it took me to cut him out? Well, each one. So we'll say, if you want to write them, so Goofy, Donald, Pluto, and Minnie. How much time do you think it takes to cut those out? Let's. All right, and we're going to now go through some other questions that you guys have seen that. Let's see. Not new, but I like to listen while working because you always need in some type of gems that we can use. Hugs, I need to schedule a session for Silver Camera 4 Pro. Ooh, what issues are you having with the Pro? If you need to buy another printer for pigment ink, maybe with or without cartridges, what would you get? So the only actual pigment ink printers are the 7820, 7840, 7310, and then the white version of the 7840 is the C7000. Those are the only actual like current workforce or Epson printers that are pigment ink. And then outside of that, it would be the EcoTank 1600 and 1650. Any of the other printers, if you put pigment ink in it, your colors are going to be off. Purchase some refillable cartridges from you for my 7710 to switch it from sublimation to eco solvent. I just watched a video from you switching ink. Would that be the same steps? So I don't use sublimation to eco solvent. One, why? I don't even understand, like, for what you can do with eco solvent, you can do a whole lot more with sublimation. I personally would not recommend unless you have a whole nother sublimation setup. And it's not an EcoTank printer. If you're like, oh, well, I got an EcoTank printer, I want to use that for sublimation. The colors are going to be so different. But again, you can do what you will. This is just, from my personal experience and my professional opinion. Again, it's my opinion. I would not go from sublimation. You can do so much more with sublimation. Eco solvent, you're still printing to vinyl. Like you're getting the either like the Caesar color print and S print, all those different things. You're still needing to print to vinyl. So it's no different pressing to Easy Subli, pressing to Glitter HEV, using Subiflex 202. Those are all basically transfers and vinyl. Like, well, of course, HEV and Glow in the Dark is vinyl. Easy Subli is vinyl. And it's the same concept. Do anything more than that with the EcoSolvent printer. You cannot print to adhesive vinyl with it. So for what most people are using it for, you might as well just use Glow in the Dark, Easy Subli, Glitter, or what was the other one I said? Subiflex 202, because it's the same. And then sublimation ink is a really, really like strong ink. You're going to have to complete one where I'm just switching from pigment to sublimation. It's not going to work. You're going to have to completely clear out that line. So you're going to need a set of cartridges that are basically a cleaning solution in there. And you're going to have to clean out that line completely to where there's no trace of sublimation ink, and then put your Eco Solvent ink in there if you choose to still switch it over to that. But I'm still trying to figure out, like, for the converted one, just not understanding why everyone's doing that. Incredible. The foam board class was awesome. I learned a lot. Do you sell the prints so someone else can cut using the foam board? Yes and no. I don't really advertise it. Last time I tried it, files were not sent ready to print. And at this time, I don't really have time to edit people's images. So it's like yes and no. People will contact me. I go through, make sure that you know that I can save it as the PDF and do everything because I have to do that on my end. But as far as like sending me, whether it's a JPEG or PNG, or if you're sending me a silhouette file for me to set up, that's one thing. But like when it's like, once they tell me the size and I blow it up and it's like, dude, did you even check to see the quality of the image? Like, it's not so great. So kind of like after I talk to people and find out, like make sure that they understand what I need, I allow them to go ahead and send it, but it's not something that I advertise right now. I mean, we did get it so that we can print out for others, but because I'm not the one that's running the machine when we do that, my staff is. For me, it's like it's nothing. I go in and figure it out. For them, they want to plug and play and just go. So yeah, it's like yes and no. So we have 30 minutes each, 2.5 hours total, or each one. 90 minutes. I'm guessing you say each. Ooh, got an ET for summation. I would not, I'm telling you, going to, unless you have an ET 1600 or 16650, your workforce is a much better summation printer than the EcoTank will ever be. Hour and a half each. All right. So 30 to 45 minutes each. All right. So prep time for Goofy. And what I mean by prep time, I have to so when I put it down, I end up turning around and there are certain things I do to it to kind of like prep, and I cut all these splits. So to go around it, and then like we'll also have to score the top layer of paper. So that's like the prep. Prep time for Goofy was 18 minutes and 35 seconds, almost 36 seconds. To cut him out completely, so after I've done the prep and then to go through it again, I was a little distracted with him. It was 43 minutes and 47 seconds. So that was to do Goofy. And we were watching Billions and I got distracted. Mind you, it was even show, but I've gotten caught up in it. So um I there was something happening. I got very, very distracted. So right, so 80 seconds. So that would be so that took me Goofy took me 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 22 seconds, give or take. So like a little under an hour and 5 minutes. Like so a little over an hour, should I say, is what it took for Goofy. Who was next? I want to say Donald. No. Who did I printed? Goofy and Pluto. So Pluto was okay, yeah. Pluto was wait, wrong one. He took 10 minutes to prep. That's to score around him, put all my splits. So he took 10 minutes to prep and 20 minutes to actually cut out. So about 30, 35, give or take. Well, really 20, 30 minutes, 31, 30, yeah, 30, 35 minutes, somewhere in there. I did not do Minnie. I didn't time her. So then there was Donald. But although I know that with Minnie, it took me about it was under an hour. I know that. So then with Donald, it was which is yeah. So he has like it was like his tail. There's intricate there, in certain parts of it, and he also took a little bit longer because I made a mistake and took him up too high. So I had some ports in there because if not, I would have had to cut off the top of his hat. But he was basically 12 minutes in prep time, score him and go around it or whatever. So it was 12 minutes in prep time for him. and 29 minutes to cut him. So that's how long it took me to do those 3. Child, 2.5 hours each, honey, baby. They would have never gotten done. Whoo. See, stuff like and that, well, how I calculate my time frame is really by how long it takes to do something based on, like, I kind of know a little bit if it'll take me, like, I mean, I guessed off of it when I'm really doing it, and then I kind of like to see the time frame to see if I lost time or I kind of basically gained money if I finished it beforehand. But if it took me 2.5 hours to do that, baby, they would never get done because I don't think anyone would want to, like, before any work is done, to basically pay me anywhere from $30 to $50 if I had to do that per hour. I don't think they want to pay that, and that would be that's no print, there's no nothing. That's just my labor to cut it out. So yeah, I would never do them if it took that long. All right, so she says, help workforce in a 310 pigment. I use your settings when I tried to print on label paper. Ink is sitting on top of the paper. On regular paper, it prints with a lot of mini dots. Oh, so the label paper, make sure, one, that it is actually for inkjet printers and it's not for laser printers. So if it's for laser, it's not going to go through. It's not going to soak it in because it's made for toner, which is supposed to sit on top. So one, make sure that your paper is made for inkjets and not for laser printers. 2, check your settings. As far as the dots, if it's on regular paper, are we talking regular like glossy paper or just regular paper? I've never had a bunch of like dots. Now, the newer printers, they do come with like a lot of pinwheels in it. Make sure that if it's this thicker paper, make sure you're also using the thick paper and envelope so it can drop it down a little bit. I find that's one of the reasons why I had to kind of that one for anything glossy, because on my glossy paper, I feel like those pinwheels show up on the glossy paper. Like you can really, really see it. Regular matte paper, I'm good. Glossy paper, like glossy photo paper, not so much. So I typically tend to not use that one for that, for any glossy paper, but everything else I can use it for. And I just make sure I set it to thick paper and envelope. I mean, if you're wanting to have a glossy look from a regular pigment ink, yes, I mean, you would use glossy paper, but this is not from an Epson printer. These are not printed from an Epson printer. So do I use the electric cutter or like the hot wand? No, I do not. One, because these are Elmer's, the paper on the Elmer's foam board is a lot thicker. If you're using a hot knife, it's basically still just an X-Acto knife, and then you can't grip it low. You're going to have to go way up at the top because the rest of it is hot. And you have to cut through the paper anyway, the top paper, bottom paper. So you're going to have to do multiple passes. Even if you try to just kind of go through with one where it's cutting through the foam, and that's all the hot wand is really for, like the hot knife is for the foam part of it. You still have the rest. It can still look really cuckoo crazy trying to get through it, especially since with most hot knives, you're going to be like holding it at the top and not at the bottom where you should. Do I have a hot knife? I sure do. Also have a hot wand, but it's not the same. So unless you are going to take off the paper, which for Elmer's, not very easy to do because it's a really thick paper, and then just put it to the foam and then cut it that way, you probably can, but you'll have to take the foam off the front and the back, and you're going to compromise how strong it is. So I don't do that. I cut everything by hand. This is the best way to cut it. Okay. Guys, for recommendations for printers, any printer will work. I can only tell you the printers that I use, but I cannot tell you like a recommendation and saying, it's not like I've tried every single printer and say, hey, this one prints better than this. I only use Epson printers. At this point, I only use Epson printers. So I cannot say which one, like which brand or whatever is better. I personally prefer pigment ink printers because of what I do with them. I like having that waterproof factor. Dye-based printers do produce better colors for certain things. So it's a personal preference for you depending on how you're planning to use the stickers. No. Oh, wait, paper, not the vinyl. Yes, they do. One thing that I have never, ever, 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 it's the one thing, don't ask me why. I share a lot freely. It's the one thing that I don't tell where I get that from. You can do the research. I spent well over $2,000 researching paper and trying out paper. It's a bunch of paper that just sits here because it just did not work. But look, you can do your research. You're going to have to cut it down. No glossy paper is sold to where it is made to fit the printers. You're going to have a machine to be able to cut those down, and you'll have to research large or rolls of glossy photo paper. That's the one thing I just don't ever reveal exactly where I get it from. In all these years, like that's literally the one thing that I never, ever, ever say is where I get my banner paper from. No, you cannot use the rabbit cutter for this. That rabbit cutters are just cutting off the edge if you're going to glue something together. That has nothing to do with this. Regular printer paper. Oh, that's kind of weird. Not sure why you're getting pizza wheels on that one. Clean your rollers and then try reprinting it. But yeah, that's kind of weird because it should be absorbing that ink. Made the cleaning solution for my cards after watching a video, and now I have blue. Thank you. Yay! Awesome. So when it says it's for both, it has more of a laser because there's a certain way it has to be. I really don't like to use papers that say that they are for both. When it comes to, especially when it comes to glossy or stickers, because it's going to be made more so for the laser side. We recommend using those. Do you remember how long it took you to pee? Wait, do you remember how long it took for you to wait for the piece you did for your niece's birthday? It looks like angels with wings. It's huge. Angels with wings for my niece's birthday. Oh, you mean the Candyland? My niece is 8 years old, 9 years old, 8 years old. I mean, it's probably about the same time. I mean, that one is one where it was pieced together. So I had to like that production time for that took a lot longer because it's printing it. Like I had to cut it up in sections. It had to print in sections. Then I had to put it on my machines. Luckily, I have 6 machines at that time. I think I probably sent each piece of it to a different machine. So it didn't take that long to cut because I was cutting all the pieces simultaneously. So that took a lot longer. So whatever time it takes for these, and then I didn't even include print time. This was just cutting it out. So cutting it out would probably the same time frame. It probably would have taken me like that one had a lot of like big areas. That took me maybe 30, 40 minutes, including like the prep going around and all of that. The cut time. But then I had to glue it all down to it. So that's going to take some time cutting it. Now, I did not include print and cut time because I just sent it. The rolling takes a really long time to print. It can take anywhere from 15 minutes to crazy. I printed Pluto and Goofy together, and I want to say that that took an hour or like 56 minutes. So I don't worry about it. So that part for me is I was cutting and prepping and doing other stuff while those were printing. And then I didn't even immediately like put it on there. I let it sit so that it can gas off. And that part isn't included. So I mean, total time wise, I mean, it takes some time to be able to get all of these done. But because of the way I have the roller now, I just send it, it prints it, it cuts it, it's all in one. I weed it, I put it down, keep it moving, shout it. But the other one, I mean, that's a lot more work. So now I profit more. I did not really change my prices at all for these. But now I profit more because it takes ink. I get it done faster. It's a much easier process, less material. I don't have to like the glue is not separate, all of that. So I actually profit more. Nothing changed other than my method. My price didn't really change for them. And now I profit more because I have better equipment. Oh, no, we don't sell this type of paper. No. I have an ET 15,000. Do you recommend it for sublimation? I know you said 16 is best as for eco tanks. So here's the thing. I'm going to give my opinion on it. You're going to hear a lot of people that say, oh, I use a 15,000 without issue. I don't have problems. Da, da, da. Not saying that it can. Technically, any Epson printer can be used for sublimation. Any of them. Even the eco tanks. My issue with eco tanks is the color output. It depends on how accurate. It's never going to be completely accurate, but how accurate do you want it to be? For certain images, and depending on which program you're printing from, you can get some pretty dope. You can get awesome colors. It's going to be really, really close to it. But they're made to use two different inks. I've broken this down several times in videos about the fact that EcoTank printers, except the 16600 and 16650, they all use dye ink. It's a very, very dark ink. It's like food coloring. Whereas pigment ink is one where it looks the color that it is. It's pigmented. It's not really, it looks opaque in the bottle instead of like completely see-through or translucent like the dye inks. So because the firmware is meant to mix colors of this dye ink, when you're putting something like pigment ink or sublimation in an EcoTank printer that uses dye ink, your colors are going to be off. Very much so off. This is why a lot of people get the oranges instead of reds. And you have to have a totally separate color profile, color chart for the two different printers. They print completely. I wish I had the pillowcase that I did. It was the exact same file. And one side print, let me see, hold on, let me see if it's over here. I was hoping it was over here in this little pile when I was taking everything out of the room, but it's not here. Let me check one more place. Because I still have some stuff here in the hallway. 1 second. Here. They come too. Oh, it's nice. So should find some of these. He brought them his kids. All these clocks and stuff. He ain't got his pipe done. He want to complain that she had his on. He ain't think that I would know he was buying him his kids something. And then he bought like a whole bunch of pairs for himself. He ain't buy me none. My husband in here complaining because I have his Crocs on. He should have brought me some. He brought some for him and his kids. Some I already had a pair. Okay. You brought y'all multiple pair. I had one pair. Okay. I'm looking for, and I don't even think I took, I took pictures of it. So if I can't find it, I did take pictures of it because I was trying to show the difference. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I don't see it in here. Let me phone and I'll show you the pictures if I can find them quick enough. Gallery. Oh, those are screenshots, not screenshots. Let's go to camera. trying to think, did I have my... Oh, dang, I went way too far. Oh, come on. Was the day... Okay, I'm trying to think. Did I have my SD card in my computer, my phone then? I did it with Kizzy. It was graduation, like the diploma. All right, so it's not here. So let me check here. Okay, here it is. All right, so dang it. 1 second, y'all. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so someone called. All right, here we go. They were printed from the exact same file. Exact same file. I actually forgot to change the gray color on it. And this is... Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can put it on the screen. So let's send this to myself. So share. And then we're going to go to my drive. And then we're going to go here and share to my drive and share to my drive. And is there a of... I mean, you can barely see it, but share to my drive, share to my drive. Okay. But I'm going to kind of show you here. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. No, you're not going to be able to see it. So 7720. And this is from the Eco Tank. See, it's dark, so you're not going to be able to see it. I'm going to pull it up over here so that you guys can see it. All right, so let's pull this over and then go share screen. All right, so you can... this show the rest, but you can somewhat see, like, you can see this is gray, this is gray. But you look at this one and you can see that it looks almost like purplish or like brown. Here is the same thing. It looks totally different. Here it is again from the side, so you can see the colors. This is from the 7720, which is a pigment ink printer. So it's going to match closer to like Summation Ink. No matter if it is our Summation Ink or any other third-party Summation ink is third-party Summation Ink. They all pretty much have the same color profile. And then if we look at, so that is 7720. I'm going to try and zoom in. So you see the difference in that. We go to the one from the 2720, which is the same thing like a 15,000. You see the difference in the color? So and that's from the exact same file. So your colors are always going to be off no matter which EcoTank printer you use. If it's not a pigment, if it's not a printer that came with pigment ink in the box. So a print cleaning can work. You can try push air. Broken lines. If you're having broken lines in your nozzle check, then you're going to, you can try print cleaning and then nozzle check. If it doesn't, then do push air. Make sure that you're filled and prime. Make sure that your vent plug is out, and go from there. All right. Good morning. I have a problem with the print size. I Word or either Cricut doesn't print out the same size. For example, if I put in 1.5, it comes out smaller. Try to print on both Sublimation and my regular printer. They're both doing the same. Do you think it could be my computer? Hope that makes sense. I don't really print like for actual images for Sublimation or just like regular printing. I don't really use Microsoft Word. Cricut, I'm not sure why it's not. Now, it can also be the image, right? So if I were to go, let's see, what do I have open over here? All right, let's go with, let's see, what can I open? File. What can I open over here so you can kind of see the size? All right, let's do this image of Abby Cadabby. Okay. So with Cricut, with Word, if it's not removing the outline, it can be giving you extra space, right? So a lot of PNGs and even JPEGs will have extra space around it. It's not really to the item. So if I were to take this one, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So let's just say, okay, right now it's at 15. So I'm going to shrink. I'm going to lock this in place. I'm going to make the height on this an even 10, right? So this is saying that it is 10 by 12.020. But look at this and the line that's around it. There is extra space between her hair here at the top, and a lot of space at the bottom. Now, if I were to, I'm going to take this and 1 second, y'all. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so I just duplicated this one. I'm actually going to trace and detach both. So if I come over here and I go and I forgot to take the color off, so I'm going to trace and detach this one first. So we're going to take our threshold up and I'm going to trace and detach. So this one, I'm going to take the color off. Hopefully it doesn't shut down. You see, I have a lot of the Mickey stuff up here. So hopefully it doesn't shut down on me because it's trying to process too much. Because I have all of these have the Mickey files in them. That was going to happen. It was taking too long, so I kind of figured it would happen. All right, that's one thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm an advocate for Silhouette. I love using Silhouette, but it is very, very annoying sometimes to do certain things and then it just shuts down. I wish they really would invest more time in stabilizing the program like it was when it was version 3. The more things that they added to it, I don't think they really worked on how to stabilize it with adding so many different things to it to where it can be a pain in the butt. I've never had the version 3.6 like or any of the version 3s. Ever since version 4, you have a lot of times where it just shuts down. It's like it just doesn't work well with and this is not like a weak. I mean, this computer has really great RAM, it's a really good graphics card, and I still have that issue if too many things are open. It's like Silhouette not handle it. No matter what your your computer is, the program just cannot handle all of that. And it's a good thing I saved all of that because it literally did not save any of it when it shut down. The recovered documents hasn't been working, and that's been up. Like you would think that that would have auto saved all this time because it's been up all weekend. The last thing that auto saved was the 6th. It says nothing from today. So I'm trying to think. I don't think there was anything on there that wasn't sized properly, but I mean, all of it was saved because I saved them as PDF. So that just sucks. All right, so let's bring her back in. All right, so let's take this and we're going to make it as close to 10. All right, now I'm going to bring this down and, well, I guess I can just do it. They're both 10, right? So I'm going to zoom in here and we're going to trace and detach this one. So select trace area, place our box, increase our threshold, and trace and detach. We went over this in like when we went over tracing. So that's also in the 30-day training. So I explained it a little bit more in detail there as well. So if you want to go back through the 30-day training. All right. So we're going to move this box. And this box says 8.3.20 by 10.001. If I click on this now, this is now 7.470 by 9.369. So depending on how you size, like this is now much smaller. So if whatever you were sizing it up based off of its actual bounding box, the edges of it, and you were doing that to 1 point whatever, the actual image itself is going to be smaller because whenever it is measuring, it is going to measure from the very top of that box that is for that file. So someone may have saved this with a bunch of extra pixels around it. If I were to go to Photoshop and I set it to 300 DPI and I put this in the middle and I save it, it's going to save all that other like extra, or if I set it to, let's say 13 by 19 and I put this in the middle, it's going to save it as a 13 by 19 with this little piece in the middle. You want to do that sometimes to where it's not going to just go down. I'm going to put up one of my, so let's say like this, right? This is an overlay. I used to use this in a lot. I need to go because then it had like all my information, but it can be like distraction. It can be a distraction. So with this, right, this is designed in a program, and the middle part where you see my face at is you can probably see like a little shadow. It's like a little white box. That part is transparent, but everything else is around it. So I want this to save in this size fills my screen. So whenever you are designing your saving, if you have it set to 11 by 17, 13 by 19, or 120 pixels by 720 pixels, whatever it is, even if you have something that's really, really small in there, it's going to save it that way. Let's see. I had this other one. I think I removed it. Let me see. Let me go to honestly speaking. So yeah, there's that one. There's that one. but I had one that I did for someone, and okay, here it is. Boom. So let's say when I have this one, right? I wanted that to be right here in the corner. When I save this, I don't save just that PNG because I can't move it around the screen. So when I set it up, whether it's Silhouette Studio or Photoshop or any program, they've told, StreamYard has, okay, this box is this size. I have to make my box that size. I have to put the image right there in the corner, and I have to save it as is so that as an overlay, it sits right here. If I just saved it as a PNG, when it comes in, it's just going to be in the middle of the screen. It's just the way that it's saved. That part down there is really, really small, but the entire box is big. So if I was resizing it and I want it to be a certain way, I can't go off of the box. I'm going to have to go off of the image that's there. I end up doing, if I can't change the full size, I'm going to make a separate box. Let's go back to Silhouette Studio. So if I wanted this to be like this size here, so I wanted it to be smaller, or I wanted to know what the size was. So let's say I wanted this to be, I'm going to lock it in and just, well, not lock it, too late now. So I'm going to put, let's see, 2 by 3, right? Let's say 2.5 by 3. And I want this to fit in there. If I go and I make this box to fit as close, well, I can't really fit it 2 by 3. So I can make the box 2.5 inches wide. I forgot that this is really short. So I'm going to make this one 2.5 inches, but the image is not that size. What I would have to do if I wanted her to be 2.5 inches side to side, I'm going to take this box that she's in, because I'm not tracing and attaching it. Or if you're doing it in Word, you're doing it in Cricut, you're going to box the size of the width or height that you need. And I'm going to change right here. You're going to size it until the edges reach the side of that box. That way, once it's printed out, it is 2 inches wide. So right now her box is saying 2.657. But if I were to trace and detach this, oh, dang it, forgot about the box. Her width is now, well, it's a little under 2.5. I guess I wasn't right there. Her width is now 2.48. Here it's 2.6. She is smaller, 2.48. That's how you would have to do that. All right. So no other questions were posted during that time. So I guess we have answered everyone who had a question, asked their question. We've been on for almost an hour anyway, so it's time to kind of sort of like right here. Let's see. Sorry, I had to look for something real quick. All right. She says, thanks a lot. That makes so much sense. Yeah. That's why I like using Silhouette. You can trace and detach, and you can actually see like the true size of things. And being able to like really, really modify things. Word, it's true that If you can print it, you can sub it. Any program, if it's in Excel, if it's in PowerPoint, if it's in Word, if it's in Paint, any of those, as long as there's a print button attached to it, you can print from it, and you can print your summation prints from it. You can print your invitation, you can print whatever from it. Word is a document form, it's a document program. We have to normalize using programs for what they're intended for. And Word really isn't to do a lot of like the full on graphics. Don't get me wrong. Word has a lot of things in it that I wish Silhouette would incorporate, like having like those glows around it, having like real mirror, having 3D effects. I'm like, if Word can do it, but then at the same time, I'm like, look, we got these little bit of features and this program went completely berserk. So if y'all add more, it's going to be even worse. And if they add those, I'm going to want to update to whatever the version is, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6. But I know that they just aren't working on the stability of the program. So I choose to stay at 4.3.370. I don't have some of the features that are in 4.4 because I'm not going up. I need my program. This is my bread and butter, teaching it. So I will go into Word and use it for some of its features, like the glows that's on there. Some people like the background remover that's on Word. I love their word art. So I will create that, save it as a PDF or save it as a take a screenshot, bring it over to Silhouette Studio and trace it, and then go from there. But just designing and layering and things like that, Word really isn't the ideal program. Cricut, you can do some things, and Cricut is designed for you to do things that you're going to like utilize with their machinery. Cricut is all about let's keep it in house. So they're not really making it easy for you to do things that you're not utilizing any of their equipment, any of their products. So while it's good, there are a lot of limitations to it. You want to get, when you're wanting to get into this and you really want to increase, you want to stand out as a customs keepsake, custom creations, custom apparel company with all these things. You want to stand out as that person that provides custom. You really need to invest in learning a program that's going to allow you to do that and stand out from the crowd else who doesn't have the professor, who are still using these programs that just don't work for you. Now, is Silhouette Studio like where you should stop at? No, it is a great foundational like program where it's not you can do a lot within it. If you do want a free program, there's a lot that you can do in the free program. Point you're going to have to elevate when you want to be able to do more and add glows. You don't want to have to use fade bars. You want to be able to create them yourself. You want to be able to learn how to use stamps and brushes and stuff like that and create effects. That's when you're going to move into the Photoshops, the illustrators, the Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, Corel Draw, and that. You at some point you're gonna end up elevating, or maybe even like Procreate and things like that. But Silhouette Studio is a great place to start amongst like the free options. And technically, Word isn't free. You got to pay for that one too every single year. So look into at least trying to learn Silhouette Studio. You don't have to have a machine in order to use. You can use the free version, absolutely free. You don't have to have a machine to upgrade to Designer Plus, or Business. You can just go there. You don't have to have an official business that's an LLC and this, that, and the third. You don't have to have a business page. Silhouette America don't know nothing about your business to know if you got an official business, if you're paying tax or not. Business Edition just means it has all of the features. Originally, Business Edition was created so that you can run multiple machines at one time. If you had multiple machines, they assumed that you were making some money and doing some business with it, so they called it Business Edition. That's the only reason why it has that name. But you don't have to be running, I just got started. I'm not a business. I don't want to get Business Edition. No, Business Edition. Make sure you use my link, though, when you do get it. And you can go from there. So do I use Canva? I do. I have for Pro. I don't ever plan to use it for actual designs. I wanted it more so for my social media. My sister has made some of her website pictures in Canva. I wanted more so like to create my social media posts and just give them some flair, which I have been slacking on. There's a lot of like little elements in it. Canva is basically It's easy for people to use it because it already includes a lot of these elements. I went through and a lot of the layouts that Canva has, like ones I saw, I created my own version of it in Silhouette Studio. But then I realized, man, can I create it? Yes. Takes up a lot of time. So if you're not like with everything that I do, it just wasn't, it didn't make sense to reinvent the wheel, even though I could. I'm just gonna go ahead and give y'all this little hot money. What was it? Hundreds of dollars for the year, so I can just go in there and then use them. Because sometimes something simple as just a background and a circle, but just being able to put it in there. So it is a program or is a system where all of these things are already set up for you and you're able to go in and easily change the colors. So for me, it's just about speed and it's just being convenient. Um, would I actually, to be able to like have the freedom for what I do here and tracing something down and resizing it and knowing the size. You're never going to really know like the true size when you're doing certain things in a program, a system like that. So does it have its benefits? Yes. Very, 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 very convenient, especially for quick things. The fact that they have a lot of elements that's included. I mean, it's great. The fact that I could add, I was able to add our branded fonts to it, like our brand fonts to it, makes it so convenient to do things like that. But would I ever use it? And sit for me, I'm just not going to. Although J Stewart Laboratory, honey, she had me like, wait a minute now, where we can do all of this. Okay, well, let's give this a try. Because she did like a whole all over shirt thing in Canva. And I thought that was really cool. Her name is J Stewart Laboratory. Awesome. But yeah, I personally just don't plan to ever use it for full-on designs. Or most people, even when they use it for full-on designs, they still have to come into Silhouette Studio and size it up. So that's that. All right. So let's go. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. If you are just joining, I did go over like the tools and stuff that I use. If you missed my pictures, earlier, I was showing these kind of up close. Some of you guys have seen the pictures. I posted them on my page. They are the cutout. They range in different sizes, but they're the cutouts. It's just regular Elmer's foam board. And in the beginning, I talked a little bit about that and the fact that this is all that I use for it. Don't use a hot knife at all. And talk about the times. We had a few questions about printers and things like that. So definitely go back and watch the replay. I know it's an hour, but a lot of great information in this video. But we are about to wrap up. This live broadcast was brought to you by the letters HSINK, the numbers 3, 6, 5, and 0, which are our signature letters and numbers for our amazing product line. Guys, I'm telling you, if you want to be loyal to, a brand, I would highly recommend HSE. Education, you get the support when you're having issues. Someone that's, has probably done a lot of the troubleshooting and can answer the questions that you have knowledgeably. Support, if you're going to spend your money with a company that can help you, we have a dedicated group that can help you with our products. You're not just relying on others to answer questions. You're getting it straight from our company. We ship out. We're very consistent. We don't play games with, we're sold out of this, we're sold out of that. And, then we have stuff. We do a very good job of running business and making sure that we have inventory, because we know that our business success depends on your business success. And if we don't have products and you can't order the products and you have a job to do, you need to be able to have those on hand. So we do our best to always have our products on hand for you guys and get them out in a timely manner. So if you're looking to add some other paper to your repertoire and your inventory of supplies, you could definitely have more than one. I've always said, look, if we're out of something, honey, you have a business to run. Go to have your good, better, best, your A, B, C, and D. Hopefully we are A for you. But visit our website, shop.hsinc365.com. Again, that is shop.hsinc hsink365.com or www.hsink365.com. Either one will get you to the site because this is what is it called? It's forwarded to that site. So either one will work. And check out everything we have to offer. We have summation paper, fast dry and tacky. We have 140 milliliters of ink. So you're going to get way more bang for your buck. If you're not wanting to deal with setting up and priming your cartridge, we have pre-filled cartridges for the 252 cartridges. We carry pigment ink, your chip resetter for the older models. We have all of our inks are keyed for eco tanks. There are classes. This right here, if for everyone that's under the sound of my voice, if you don't have this class, Silhouette Studio is a program to learn. Yes, there are free videos on YouTube. No, they are nothing like, not even my own videos. In there, I was telling them, I have gems and secrets in here that I have never, ever, ever uttered in a live video, in a pre-recorded video. If you want to learn a free program, you want to be able to customers. That starts with understanding the design software that you have so that you can freely create. This is a course. This is a training. Creative. Anybody that wants to craft or be creative, you need this. $83.65. I could have easily put $200-$300. This is 30 days. 30 days of amazing training. $2.70 a day. Everybody needs this. So if you have not enrolled in it already, I'm telling you, enroll in the course. All right. So there we go. There is the direct link. So we have our courses, the foam board one. If you search foam board, it's on there somewhere. Just go up there to where it says Academy, playbacks and stuff. That's there. But there's a lot of courses. There's templates from HS Ink Digital and then all of our amazing products. So wealth of resources. Shop.hsink365.com is where it's at. So visit our website today. All orders before 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time go out the exact same day. My videos always stay up. I don't take my videos down. Honey, that's money. I am fully Look here. I am fully monetized. Mom ain't raised no fool. So these videos stay up, whether it's 5 viewers, 500 viewers. It's up, especially now that I am fully monetized on Facebook. Oh, yes, God, stays up so I can collect my coins, you know? All right, y'all. Thank you so very much for joining me this morning. Until next time, 3 minutes before my 101. Have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Don't forget to like and share this video.